A message from the management. Eating and drinking while viewing these videos is not advised. Please be aware you do so at your own risk. Hi guys, welcome back to Exposed. And if I'm welcoming you back and you like it here, I'd love it if you stayed and subbed. Sorry, I'm pissing about with the box I'm in just to make it a little bigger. Bigger. God, what is wrong with me today? Anywho, I thought I'd do the Ask Me Anything because it's going to disappear off the bottom of the page and I'll totally forget about it. I think I looked and there was 12 or 16 questions. Not a lot, but hey ho. Bonnie, I'm sure I will think of more questions, but here's one. What would you tell your younger self? I would most definitely tell my younger self, don't listen to a word your mother says and follow your dreams. Because I gave up doing anything I wanted to do because she belittled me. If I'd known that she was a narc, and that everything she said was a lie, I might have been doing something different. Who knows? Deb, I agree. We miss you, Elizabeth. Hope you're feeling better. There's an old wives' tale that I strongly believe your body can only repair itself during sleep. Listen to the wise ladies. If you're listening, Elizabeth, we miss you. Joyce, what was the happiest moment in your life that you would love to relive over and over again? Having the kids. I don't think there's anything that would top that. It's like having the kids, marrying Jed. That's it. They're the only happy things in my life. Trying to think. No. Having the kids. Tech Help was an emergency C-section and Madam was elective. So when I had Tech Help, I was on my own in theatre because Jed's dad was really poorly in hospital with cancer and he was having a multi-organ transplant. Jed had watched that film where the pregnant wife had died on the table and he thought I was going to die, and so he just couldn't cope, so he sat outside. But then when they cut me open, the epidural had only taken down one side, so I screamed and he nearly came bombing in the door. For people had to hold him down. So, but yeah, it was funny because I was lying there and the anaesthetist is like, oh, did you feel that? Do you want me to put you out? And it's like, it was a bit fucking late now. I felt it. And so he was trying to take my mind off of things. And then I'm like, he's not cried. Why is he not cried? Why is he not crying? Why is my child not crying? And he didn't know what to say. And they run off with him, taking him out the door. And it's like, I can't hear anything. Why can't I hear anything? Why have they taken him out there? What's going on? And the next thing, it was like, wah! Because Jed said the nurse had him. She smacked his bum. Nothing. Smacked it again. She had to really whack him to like get him to cry. And then when she handed him to Jed, he was just like, you don't look like my mum. I'm sure that's not you up there. And he was just chill. Completely chilled. Madam, on the other hand, they picked her up to show me her over the screen thing. And as they picked her up, there was just this scrunched up, red, angry little face going, ah! I said to Jane, she wanted to sleep because they booked it 2 weeks early from the due date. And I'm like, she's not happy. She's like, I had another 2 weeks in there. What the fuck are you doing? That's funny, but yeah, I'd live them over and over and over and over and over again. Bonnie, hurry, welcome back, Elizabeth. We missed you. See, half of these aren't even questions. Katja, hi Jules. Not really a question, but maybe some more of your wonderful stories growing up, or how life was for you when your kids were young. Bedlam. This would be nice. I like hearing Jules' stories, especially her time in Wales. Thank you. Beguile me, that was. Let me think. It was very basic when we were in Wales. Jed stayed home with me when Tech Help was tiny. And we had nothing. Absolutely fuck all. I don't know where my head was back then. It wasn't even a thought. If we have kids, what we need this, that, and the other. What do I do? How do I pay for it? Blah, blah, blah. Never entered my head. It was like, we're getting married and then we're going to try and have a baby. Never thought about how I'm going to fucking clothe the baby. But see, that's the thing. You don't think, do you? When I found out I was pregnant with Madam, I nearly shit myself. It was like, fuck, what are we going to do? Because Jed had just had his accident at work, and he just had his back operated on. And I went in to see him, and he's like, look, I can stand up. And I'm like, I bet I can make you sit down with Madam's pregnancy test. That was so funny. I didn't even need to do it. I don't know if this is with anybody else. My boobs, they were so hot. You could have fried eggs on them. And it was like, with Tech Help, I'd be like, get away from me. Don't move the covers. Stop jiggling about. And then he was in hospital after his operation. I was like, oh, my boobs are really, oh, fuck. So I went and got a test. And Tech Help's outside the door. Mummy, what are you doing in there? It's like, I'm having a pee, Travis. Go away. Mummy, why are you in there so long? And I'm just sat looking at this stick thinking, fuck, I knew I didn't need to pay for a test. I knew I was pregnant, but yeah. We got married and lived on camp, Butlins. Got a double shed, as we called them. And we lived on there for a while. And then I found out I was pregnant. And then it was a case of, damn it, we have to move off camp because they won't let you live on camp as a family. It was just the two of us working. So we went looking for this house. And I remember somebody said to me, oh, you won't get that house. They're very particular about who they want living there. My daughter's going for that house. And it's like, whatever, we'll get a house. I'm not asked. But it turned out like 7 of the managers at Butlins put in references for me and Jed to get the house. And I thought that was so sweet. So we moved in there, had nothing. And the furniture in the front room was patio furniture. You know, that cane stuff with the cushions on. That was all that was there. And I was like, is this it? Is this what we've got to live with? And the landlord, well, it wasn't the landlord. The landlords, it was their holiday home, and then they decided to let it out. And the bloke in the letting agency said, oh, no, I've got some furniture for you. I meant to drop it round before you moved in. I'll be round tomorrow with it. And it's like, oh, that's great. Because Jed had to tie the settee together with shoelaces because he sat on it and the whole thing just nearly collapsed. And it was like, yeah, this is great. So anyway, he turned up the next day with a flatbed lorry with a 3-piece suite, cream leather. And it's just like the royal family. Everyone was looking out the window going, oh, look at that. Oh, leather. They must have money. And he's like, no, we haven't got 2 fucking halfpennies to rub together. So we got that. And then next couple of days or something, the sun came out in the front room. And it was like, ka-ding, ka-bink, ka-dink. What is that? And we were looking, we were watching things going, ba-doo, ba-doo. And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, there's fleas. And it wasn't the settee, it was the carpet. Because the woman that had been in there before us was my boss, and she'd had cats. And of course, everything lay dormant in the winter. As soon as the sun came out, they were like, woohoo, jumping all over the fucking place. I was bitten to buggery. They didn't go near Jed. My legs were such a mess. Anyway, we had to get someone in with one of them bomb things to get in. It was only in the sitting room. Very weird. But it was a beautiful house. It had a coal fire in the front room. And then there was a dining room, and then there was a kitchen, and then upstairs there was like a back bed, tiny little back bedroom with like a built-in bunk thing, a toilet and a sink. It was dead cool because when my mother ever came to stay, I could shove her in there out of the way, and she had her own sink and loo, and she didn't bother us. Then the bathroom, then Tech Help's bedroom, then our bedroom. But yeah, and it was like one day, Because we talk about it now and it's really funny. When Travis was tiddly, he was in his cot, and we heard someone go do 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 across the bedroom thing, and we're looking at each other going, oh, huh? Who's that? I don't know, and I don't want to find out. They never bothered us, whoever they were. They just ran around every once in a while. So we were in that house for a good while. Travis was 2 when we moved, because there was a council house that had just been done up, and I put my name down for it, and I got it, which I was really surprised by, because the owners had contacted us and said they wanted to sell the house, and they were giving us first refusal, and it was like, we can't buy a can of beans, never mind a house. And they were really sad that we couldn't buy it, and so we found this council house, and we put our name down, and we got that. And then I phoned the owners, and I said I was wondering if I could buy the furniture, because we've not got anything. And the husband said, oh, I'm terribly sorry, we're going to let it out for a little while longer, so we're going to need that. So I was like, okay then. And then in like half an hour the phone rang, and it was the husband, and he went, my wife has just had a very strong conversation with me. And she said, let her buy the stuff. He said, so give me an offer. And I said, well, I was thinking of the deposit. He went, done. I think if I'd have said 20p, he'd have said done. It was dead sweet. So they sold us the washing machine, fridge, our bed, the leather 3-piece suite. I think that was it. Tech Help's cot was ours. So that was all it's like we've gone through life with nothing. I mean, we were so lucky when we got that house. The next door neighbour had bag loads of baby clothes from when her little boy was a baby, and she gave us tons of stuff and to use, to give back to her in case she'd have more. But yeah, otherwise I think he'd have spent his whole time in the baby grow, roaming around with his bum hanging out or something. But then Butlins changed to Haven. All the jobs were lost. You needed to speak Welsh. Travis was due to start school, and it was like neither of us spoke Welsh. And it's like, oh, he's going to have a hell of a time when he doesn't know any Welsh. Mind you, that being said, I'm sure if I'd have put him into school, he'd have fucking picked it up in no time, because that's what he was like. I mean, he was reading at 2. We were sat there one day, and it's like, I think Jed says to him, it's bedtime, and he went, no, The Simpsons are on. And it's like, all right, I'll let you have that, because there's S's at the beginning and the end of The Simpsons, so you might be seeing the twirly thing, and you know that means The Simpsons, so that was fine, we let that go. And then he's like, your programme's coming on, Daddy. The new Yankee Workshop. I had to really think about that, because I always called it the new Wanky Workshop. I could never say it right. And Jed's looking at me. He said, did you tell him that? No. And then another day we had Super Mario 64 that Jed and I used to play. And I went to make a coffee, and I thought, oh, if I give Tech Help the controller, he can wiggle it about, and the little man and run around. And he went into the kitchen. Next thing I heard, ding-ling-ling. So when I said, did you get a star? Yeah. And it's like, what the fuck? And then when we moved here and we got our first computer, and I sat him on it, and it's like, he says to me all the time, it's your fault. You got me into gaming and computing, so you can't blame anyone but yourself. It's funny. They used to have him shutting down the nursery computer system at 3 because the teacher didn't know how to do it. So every day she'd be like, Travis, can you do... And then they'd have assemblies, and they'd all have to say something. And one day she rang me up, and she's like, oh, I forgot to give Travis his words going home. I need him to say blah, blah, blah. Will he know? Oh, it's Travis. Ignore me. I'll see you at 12. And it was like, yeah, they didn't have to tell him. But I said to them, when he started nursery, he can read. And they were like, yeah, they're there. And then one day one of them came running out, Mrs. King, he can read. And it's like, yes, I know. I told you that. Then Madam was really, really quiet, but she was taking it all in. And we'd things she did when she was little that used to crack me up. She was non-verbal for a good while, but if we said anything, once she did start talking, I'd say to her, oh, you know, Kaylee did blah, 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 or said da, da, da. And then this head would pop up from somewhere. And, that's what I said. And it's like, I know that's what you said. I'm telling Daddy that's what you said. Really funny. But I wish we'd stayed in Wales, I really do, because then Jed wouldn't have broken his back. I wouldn't have been stressed to fuck. Wouldn't have got fibro, I don't think. I don't know. I think I already had it, but I think all the stress just... what's the word? Just made it worse. We'd still be quite happy living by the seaside. Now we're here. We came here for work. I went for an interview at the local paper because I'd worked in local papers, and they said put down the minimum that you'd work for. So I put down the minimum that, and it's like I could have run rings around most of those people because the paper's shite. It was like I could have. The one we had in London was so much better, and it was like, yeah, they just weren't willing to pay for me, and it's like, oh well. So Jed, brother, got him a job where he worked in a fucking door factory where he broke his back, and it's like he had a job within a week of us getting here. That's why we came, because we wanted to work. I wanted to buy a house and then updo it and then buy another house. And do you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, we came here and all our fucking dreams just went to shit, basically, because the two of us ended up sick. And then we've got neighbours calling us scroungers. And it's like, I'm terribly sorry. If I was a fucking scrounger, if I was a dolie, as they call you, I would have stayed in Wales where there was no work, wouldn't I? And just got my benefits. Here's the thing, right, if you're from the UK, when we were in Wales, when Butlins shut and you had to sign on in between seasons, we went and did all the bits and bobs that you have to do, and they were like, yeah, just post this card in every, whatever it was, 2 weeks or whatever. And it's like, huh? We don't have to come in and sign. Oh, no, just sign the card and post it, that'll do. I mean, we could have been living there, nobody knowing what we're doing, by the seaside, happy as a fucking pig in shit. But no, I'm stuck in an upstairs bedroom. I mean, thankfully we own the house. That's great, you know. But that was that was the thing. I put in to buy this house a month before Jed had his accident. So we had all the things in progress. The insurance was due to start paying the following month, and then we were all signed up and we were paying a mortgage. And then Jed breaks his back, and it's like, fuck. What do we do now? That's why I was shitting myself, because he broke his back. I found out I was pregnant, and we just put in to buy the fucking house, and it's like, great. Now what do we do? Yeah, we got there in the end. But the insurance, by right, should have paid the mortgage. But they didn't, because they said I hadn't paid them a payment until after Jed broke his back. Therefore, they weren't not entitled. Whatever. They weren't going to pay it, basically. Madness. Anyway, so we own the house. I never thought we'd see the end of 25 years worth of mortgage. You know, when you sign up and you think, fucking hell, 25 years, that's forever. But so we don't have rent to pay. We still have council tax to pay, but thankfully we don't have rent, which is going up and up and up and up and up in the UK. So that's one good thing. But like, for every good thing there's like 5 bad things, and it's like, I'd love to be able to sell this and buy a bungalow, which you're looking sick of listening to me going on about. But bungalows cost 3 times as much as this house would sell for. And it's like, so it's like a noose around my neck. I can't go anywhere. We can't get out of here. There's people came out to do a thing years ago about helping like grab rails and stair lifts and them, the occupational therapist. And it was like, oh, we could put a lift in. Great. Where? Oh, in that part of the kitchen. Yeah. Would you come up in that part of the bed? Oh, right, yeah. Oh, we'll put in a stair lift. Okay. You know when a stair lift gets to the top of the stairs and it turns so it's on the landing and you can get... There's no way for it to turn. I think I sent some pictures to Faye to show her what our stairs are like. But you get to the top of our stairs, right? My door's here. Tech Help's door's there. The bathroom's opposite and Madam's is there. There's no way for the chair to turn around. So if I had a chair lift, stair lift, whatever, I'd have to get off it on the stairs, which is just an accident waiting to happen. I asked them donkeys years ago, could we get a walk-in bath with a shower over it? Because Madam was absolutely fucking terrified of a shower, and she was getting too big to lift into the bath, and she wouldn't climb into it. And we said, could we have a door? And this woman from the council came out, and we'd got the backing of Kaylee's, I don't know what you call her, the woman that diagnosed Madam. I keep saying her name, don't I? She's going to shoot me. The lady that diagnosed her as autistic, she'd written a letter saying, you know, this would be really helpful for the family. And the woman from the council came out and she was like sat on the sink, which was just hooked on the wall. And I said to her, I'm sorry, can you not sit on the sink because you're going to pull it off the wall? So she had her back up straight away. And then she looked and she went, your daughter, she can walk, can't she? Yeah. She has got legs then. Yeah. So what's the problem? The problem's in the fucking paperwork and the letters we sent you. And it was like, no, we're not gonna do it. Great. So that would have been really helpful now, because I could have just walked into a bath. I could have soaked in hot water, which would have got rid of a lot of the pain. And then there was a shower on the wall so everyone could shower if they wanted to, but no. So we bought... I'm going on a bit now, aren't I? We bought... What I bought. I saw it's my fault. This walk-in shower thing with a seat on eBay. Great. Bought that. Fucking Bob the Builder came and put it in. I tell you, we're so fucking unlucky with workers. They always do things back to front or upside down. It was supposed to have a proper radio in it, and what else? It could answer your phone calls and that type of thing. Whatever they did, they put the up top of it upside down or back to front or something. So the only thing I could get was on a Sunday afternoon was Dermot O'Leary doing something. Otherwise, the fucking radio was shite. But Madam fucking hated it. Absolutely despised it. The minute I shut the door, turned the water on, that was it. She screamed. She screamed from the minute she got wet until I got her out of it. And it was like, she'll get used to it. No, absolutely no way. Not having it. Months this went on. And then the fucking seat rusted. It's like, who could buy a shower with a built-in seat that rusts? Only us. So we had to get that removed. So we put a bath in for Madam. And so now I have to climb over the side of a bath onto a shower stool to use the shower that's on the wall. It's a fucking nightmare. This house, I hate it. I really do. I never really liked it when we got it, but it was as I thought, it's a stepping stone to something else. But nope. Life was like, you're not doing that, love. Bonnie, will you be doing more lives? Do you think Tech Help or your hubby would do a guest appearance? I know Madam wouldn't want to. Not in the fucking month of Sundays, would she? She's so funny. Jed has been on before on my other channel. It was a Q&A thing. If you search Q&A, Bonnie, you'll find him on there. I don't know about Tech Help. He's quite happy for you to hear him talking, but I don't know if he'd want me to show his face. See, I'd love to do more lives, but the problem with that is the time difference. Plus, knowing when I'm going to be awake to be able to do it. Because I'm wide awake now. It's what? 10 to 4 in the afternoon here in the UK. I don't know who'd be awake now. I could go live now. But it's like Laura wants me to go live with her on Glenda Sully. And it's like, I don't know when I'm awake. I can't even say, right, book me in for next Friday at 8 o'clock. There's no guarantee I'll be awake. So then if I have to set an alarm to wake myself up, I'm neither use nor ornament. I don't know what's going on, what day of the week it is. Can't form a sentence. Like, I'm no better now. But when I've just been woken up, I'm absolutely useless. So I don't know. I would like to do them, though, because lives are fun. So what I did instead was the comments thing, because at least you get to say what you want to say and I get to answer you that way. But I'm going to have to try and sort something out, aren't I, Bonnie? Beguile me, a light-hearted question. What are your favourite UK shows, especially comedies? They're all old. Only Fools and Horses. That's a must-watch. I did actually do a playlist for recommending programmes. Beguile me. If you go on, I'll show you. If you go on the main page, and across the top there you can choose click playlists, and let me see there, must watch TV it's called. Right, let's have a look what's on there. You won't have to watch it then, will you? Happy Valley. That is a must watch. Amazing. Anything that she's in, I'm watching. And now I'm trying to think what her name is. Sarah Lancashire. Anything with Sarah Lancashire in is going to be good. Line of Duty. Oh, Killing Eve. I keep forgetting to tell people to. Killing Eve is fucking brilliant. You need to watch that. Unforgotten's really good with Nicola Walker. And she was... Anything she's in, I watch. Anything that girl's in there, Jodie Comer. Fucking amazing actress. She's so cool. But anyway, where are we? Happy Valley, Line of Duty, Killing Eve, Unforgotten, Call the Midwife. I love that. I've still got, I think it's last year's 8 videos or whatever with the Christmas one. I need to watch it. Luther with Idris. Vera, she's just done the last 2. I am absolutely gutted. I've got the last 2 episodes of Vera in my to watch thing, and she did a thing, Farewell Pet, and it's like, farewell my arse pet. I am not watching it because I don't want it to come to an end. Last Tango in Halifax, that's got Sarah Lancashire and Nicola Walker in. It's an amazing show. Really easy going, but it's really clever. The Accident with Sarah Lancashire, that was good. River with Nicola Walker. I wish that had come back. That was a really clever show. And Dr. Foster with Saran Jones. That was really cool. Comedies, let me think. Like I said, thingy. Only Fools and Horses. That is the best comedy ever. The Royal Family, Royale, with what are their names? Oh, I can't think now. But the royal family, it's it's really UK humour, so it's a bit hit or miss for Americans. I don't know how many of you, boo to you and all, would find it funny, but it is very funny. Um, Others. I'm trying to think of things that have made me laugh. I need to do the thing again. Comedies. Let me think. Everyone likes Gavin and Stacey. I've not watched that yet. But James Corden is in it, so if you don't like James Corden, that's a no-go. What have I got? Where's my remote? I've got anything set up to watch. I can't... Oh, I don't know where it is. What else? Those, though, on the must watch, they're like really good dramas, well worth watching. There was another one I watched with Martin Compston in, where I need to update that list actually, because there's quite a few more drama-y type things that I've watched that I really enjoyed. But for now, that's all I can think of. Thank you. Carolina, hi Jules. I just want to ask how you got inspired to make those React videos, especially Lisa's, since she's the one who brought me here. Love you so much. Always looking forward to some good laughs with you. Thank you, honey. It started off, someone started this channel to have a go at Lardars, and then they didn't want to run it anymore. And they came to me and said, did I want to take it over? And I was like, oh, right, okay, I can do that, because I know loads about her and she's always having a dig at me. So I wanted to run this channel to show all the lies she told. And then I was still on the Gossip Bakery at that point, and then someone on there said, can you do Lisa? And I hadn't thought of doing Lisa, and it was like, go on then, I'll do Lisa. So I was just doing the two of them. Because I've often said to Jed, it's like I'll sit here and shout at the screen, and way before any of this started, and I said to him, I need a channel where I just shout at people, or I'm watching a video and I'm saying what I really think about it, and that's how all this started. It's mainly because, as well, the fact that they're narcs and nobody seems to notice. And I thought Americans were good at picking out narcissists, because it was listening to other people on other channels talking about narcissists. And I'm like, what the fuck is a narcissist? So I looked it up, and it was like, oh, hello, Mum. And then once you know what it is, you see it everywhere. And like Lardy is so like my mother, so like my mother. And I can see what she's doing, and she thinks she has us fooled. And it's like, no, you don't. Same with Lisa. So basically, I just wanted to put the record straight, Carolina. And it's fun. And I got to meet all of you lot. So it's a win-win. Joyce, you said ask anything. So here goes. How did you and Jed meet? And how did he propose? Ah, right. I went from London to Wales to work at a holiday camp, is what they call them, called Butlins. And Jed went from Yorkshire to there to work. And so the first year I was there, and I started off as a monster, they call them. It's a chalet maid, because all the other jobs were gone. And the bloke who interviewed me said if I didn't like it, I could swap to another department. So I said to him, I better be able to, or I'm coming back and I'm cutting your things off, making earrings. So I started as a chalet monster, and then on the fun fair there was a thing called the shies, where you threw a hoop and won a teddy, that type of thing. And they had headsets on where they were getting the people talking to people to get them to come over and play and whatever. Anyway, there was two people on there. They was fucking boring as all get out. And I'm like, how did they get that job? I wouldn't want to go and play listening to them two fucking rattle on. So anyway, I went to the department head and I said, I want out of chalet fucking cleaning and I want to go and work on the shies. So he said, right, well, you've got to go and work in a shop first. And it was, oh, okay. So he put me in this shop, the sports shop that no one ever went into. And he rang me up one day and he said, how are you? I said, if you don't get me out of here soon, I'm going to go fucking insane. I haven't seen another living person the entire time I've been in here. And he's like, okay, I'll sort it. So then he moved me to another shop. And it was like a comedy of errors. I went in one day and I knew the supervisor, and he said, because he was dating the girl that was in, we had a here we go, we called it a shed, and you walked in, there was a door there, that was 4 rooms, and then there was a toilet and a shower room. And the girl that backed onto me, Claire, she was going out with the supervisor from there, so I knew her. So I knew him. Anyway, so I went in and he says, right, this is a box of things that have to go up on the shelf. This is the code for them. This is how much they are. And I'm like, right, okay. And I looked up and there's 4 girls sat on the floor halfway up the shop. One's taking something out of the box and handing it to the girl beside her. And the girl beside her's looking up the number and telling the girl beside her who's turning the thing on the thing. And then she goes kadunk with the ticket, and then the one beside her, because that's where they were going, above her head, hung them up. And they were like slower than slow, talking about fuck knows what. And I was like, really? Anyway, did the box, went over to the supervisor. I'm like, I've done that, now what do I do? And he was like, fucking hell, that was supposed to take you all day. And it's like, yeah, I'm not as slow as them. And the woman who was in charge of the shop, she was like, oh, I've heard you don't want to stay here, so I won't give you any till training. I'm like, fucking till training? I could run rings round you, woman. And then I said to one of the girls, why have you got perfume on the bottom shelf? I said, have you not heard of setting up a shop? Oh, you know, if somebody out wants it, they'll ask for it. And it's like they had towels at eye level, right? Anyone who knows anything about merchandising in a shop knows that you put what you want them to fucking impulse buy at eye level. And I said to her, why have you... I said, put the towels where the perfume is and put the perfume where the towels were. Why? I said, because no one's going to impulse buy a towel. If people have come on holiday and they've forgotten to pack their towel, or they need extra, they'll come in and say, have you got any towels? You don't need them in prime real estate. Put the perfumes up there and people will walk around and see that and go, oh, I wonder what that smells like. Oh, that's nice, I'll get a bottle of that because I'm on my holidays and I don't care what tat I'm buying. Following week, the fucking manager says, oh, so-and-so had such a wonderful idea and the sale of perfumes have gone through the roof. Thank you, whatever the girl was I was talking to. I didn't get any fucking thing. It was like, oh, whatever. Then the phone rang and they were like, oh, it's so-and-so for you. I was like, oh, fuck yourself. Got on the phone and it was the boss and he said, right, he said, I finally figured it out. You're going to be on the shies on Monday. You start on Monday. And I went, I could kiss you. Thank you very much. Put the phone down. Everyone's like, what was that about? What was that about? What was that about? So eventually got on the shies. And Jed was supervisor in the fair. And he used to walk past the shies umpteen times a day, checking things out and doing stuff. And every time he walked past me, he looked at his boots. And I'm like, somebody's, but why is he always looking at the floor when he comes past? Am I missing something? And he said he was too shy to talk to me and he was terrified because of the tannoy thing that I'd make fun of him. And so one day he came up to the thing and he says, you look very pale, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm just tired. I had to do a double shift and whatever. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he walked off. And the bloke I was working with went, oh, he fancies you. He doesn't. And he was like, yeah, he does. Now, those of you that know me know I've got no self-confidence. My mum said I was fat and ugly my entire life. So any time any bloke talks to me, I have a conversation with them. I don't immediately think, oh, they fancy me. And so it was like, yeah, whatever. So the first year came and went. And then the second year, he finally... Oh, that was it. It wasn't him. We were... A whole load of us were in one of the clubs. What is that? I need to know what's booping at me and I can't fathom it out. A load of us were in a club and one of the lads was like, so who do you fancy then? I was like, what are you asking me that for? And he went, I know who it is. I'm going to tell everyone who it is. I said, if you go fucking mouthing something out, I'm going to cut your balls off and make earrings out of them. And he's like, no, I won't say anything, but promise. Tell me who. He says, it's Jed, isn't it? And I was like, yeah. He said, well, why don't you say anything? I said, because he doesn't fancy me. Everyone on the camp fancied Jed, by the way. And so it was like, I'm not telling him I fancy him, making a fool out of myself. So about a week later, that lad went up to Jed in another bar and said, if you could go out with anybody, who would it be? And he said, Jules. So the lad said, right, just remember, I didn't tell you anything. He comes running over to me and he said, before I say anything, I didn't say anything. I said, so you did say something? No, I didn't. I just said, if you could date anyone, who would it be? And he said you. So I told him he's got to come across at the end of the night, grab your hand and take you to the party. And I'm like, I'm going to kill you. So end of the night comes, grabs my hand, walks me out, get to the bottom of the stairs. He turns around and kisses me. And then all the fairground staff are stood behind us because we're all going to this party. And all I could hear was, did you know? No. What the fuck? When did that happen? Did you know he fancied? Did you know she fancied him? So that was it. Then he asked me to move into his room where he was staying. So I said, okay. And 17 days from that first kiss, we were in the nightclub called Stars. And he was really fidgety. And I'm like, what is up with you? And he said, I want to ask you something, but I think it might be too soon. So I said, well, ask me and see what happens. And he said, will you marry me? I said, get down on your knees and ask me properly and I might. So he got down on one knee and the girl beside me that knew everyone was like, oh, he's going to propose. And he said, will you marry me? And I said, yeah. It was 17 days. Everyone thought we were insane. And then it was 9 weeks from the first kiss to the wedding at a registry office in Pathelli Town Centre. And we will be celebrating 30 years in June. So for all those who said, that's not going to last, what the fuck, what are they doing? And you know when people say, when you meet the right one, you'll know. I used to think that was a load of bollocks, but it's true. I just knew. I just knew it was the right thing. I didn't even have to think about it. Bonnie, will you be narrating more books? I'm in the middle of doing one at the moment, Bonnie, but this fucking thing, if it stops doing that, I'll get more done. Because I'm trying to dance in between doing videos, avoiding the traffic and that. But I've got, where am I up to? Chapter 7. I finished chapter 7 the other day, so I've got 45 to do, so I need to get my arse in gear. But yeah, I'm doing the last book I did about the girl who sees what happened to people who die. I'm doing the next one in that series because the woman who wrote it says, I am her. I said to Jed the other day, because he listens to it for me before I upload it, just in case I've edited it wrong or put two of the same things in or whatever. And I said to him, do I sound old? And he's like, no, because I'm supposed to be a sarcastic teenager. And it's like, how did, because I just did an audition, and she went, "Oh yeah, you're Tara." I was like, "Oh cool. I'm a sarcastic old woman. Does that count?" Carolina, and one more. Who is Tech Help? I assume it's your son, but wasn't sure. Why has it? Why has he got this nickname? Because I'm always calling him when I can't fathom something out. And I said it's great that I've got Tech Help that lives in the bedroom next to me, because otherwise it's like, what am I doing now? Why is that doing that? Why doesn't this go here? And then he'll show me. He'll show me how to do something, and then I'm like, you do realise I'm going to forget? And he's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I know. I'll be calling you back in 2 days' time going, you know that thing you showed me? How to... So it's because Madam didn't want people knowing her name, but I keep fucking up and saying it. And I thought, everybody knows that he's Tech Help. Because if I get stuck, he'll come in and help me. Christine, this is a rather personal question, and if you choose not to answer, I quite understand. You're obviously bedbound, much like I am. Do you ever have a problem with bed sores? I lost a load of weight when I started keto, and I already had a bony arse, but I've got an even bonier arse now. And there was one spot on my bum that got really sore, but it wasn't as in a bed sore, or maybe it was, but I was on top of it pretty quickly. And now it's just like really rough skin. So I put Sudocrem on it every night before bed. But if I can't sit in the one spot for long, I have to fidget my bum because it really hurts. But thankfully, that was the only one I got. I've got quite thick memory foam on top of the mattress, so I think that really helps. And just fidgeting about, like, because I don't sleep. Well, I do sleep a lot, but I wake up in my sleep and twist and turn. So I'm lucky that was the only place I got it, but unlucky in the fact that I have to sit on the fucking thing all day, and if I sit in the wrong position, it really fucking hurts. But why am I swearing? Stop swearing. It really hurts, but like I said, the Sudocrem helps. Is that for... I'm sure that's for bed sores or something. I can't quite remember what. But now, like I said, it's just like really rough skin. It's not like a weeping sore or anything like that. It's just rough skin. And I thought if I kept putting Sudocrem on it, it'd go away, but it hasn't. It just stays there. So, but I can't think the best thing for it other than a memory foam cushion for when you're sitting up, Christine. And try it. See, you can't do much now, can you? Because it's... Aren't you the one with... You are, aren't you? You're the lady that broke her ribs. So you're going to be in near enough the same position all the time, aren't you? For a hell of a long time. Have you got memory foam? I would highly recommend getting a piece of memory foam to put under your sheet. And it really does help. I think that's how I get away with being able to record books from here, because it like dampens sound and whatever as well, and because I've got the blinds down and the windows closed and everything, it helps with that. But what else can you do? See, there's not a lot you're going to be able to do at the moment, is there, with your ribs? That's the only thing. But if someone can get you a good, like 4 foot wide length of your bed piece, if your husband doesn't want it his side or whatever, and have that, it really helps. I tried those, I got one of them cushion things that you're supposed to be able to put eggs on and sit on top and they don't break. But when I sit on that, it makes my legs go numb. It's really weird. Keep meaning to say to Jed to take it downstairs and use it on the settee or something. It might help his back. But yes, just that one, thankfully, Christine. Bonnie, I keep thinking of new questions for you. I'm such a pain in the arse. No, you're not. If you could see anyone in concert, who would it be? I enjoy all different types of music. Not too crazy about rap, but I would love to see either Celtic Women or Celtic Thunder. I would love to have seen Michael Flatley live. I bet that was something else. I've got him on video. I love watching him dance. It's amazing. And do you know what's really funny? Um, I call my daughter what I call my daughter, and she loves Kaylee music. It's like I've sent her tapes of my Uncle Joe and whatever, and she's like, brilliant, and she loves the Gardner Brothers and stuff like that. If I could have seen, who would I see? I've been really lucky. I've got to see a lot of people live because of my uncle having that club. I saw Lionel Richie. That was such a buzz that night. Lionel, Tom Jones. I saw Queen on their last tour. Um, I'd love to see Eminem. Me and Tech help like Eminem. There's a story. He went to the school disco, and I went and picked him up. And I said, "Was it good?" "No, they didn't play any Eminem." I'm like, shut up. People aren't supposed to know you listen to that. I'm trying to think. Michael Jackson. Wouldn't mind have seen him live. Oh, I know. Why am I sitting here huffing and puffing and I can't think of anyone? Garth Brooks. I would love to be able to see Garth Brooks live. My mum saw him when he just first started out. And we had a black footballer called Garth Crooks. And she said, my friend and I were going to see Garth Brooks. And I'm like, why do you want to go and see a football player? And she was like, no, he's a country and western singer. And I was like, oh. And apparently it was like a really intimate little thing. And he sat on the edge of the stage and was answering questions and chatting and singing. And I hate her. She got to see him like, but that definitely a load of country stars I'd like to go and see, but they're all over there and I'm over here. But yeah, definitely number one without shadow of a doubt, Garth. Deb, of all your family members, who has been the most influential and why? My gran. I don't think she ever taught me anything drastic or whatever, but she showed me what love was. She used to get up in the morning and get me ready for school. She'd do Weetabix with hot milk when it was cold outside, and she'd argue with me about putting on that stupid little rain hat. You know, that stupid plasticky rain hat, when you tied it under your chin you could hear it going in your ears. We shared a room up until I was 12, 13, and we moved to another house. So she was there all the time. She was basically my mum because my mum was fucking useless. And then there's my Uncle Joe. He was going to go on to be a priest and he never did. And he was just so quiet. And whenever I'd walk into their house, he'd go, Julio! And he was always excited to see me. It was so nice. So, but both of them have passed, sadly. What job did you have that you learned the most about people and interactions with them, good or bad? Pubs, basically. Working in pubs and clubs, you learn a lot about people. Most of the time, I've been dealing with people. So, pubs and clubs, I was dealing with people. The newspapers, I was on the phone all day with people. Butlins was a holiday camp. I was dealing with people all day long there. It's funny seeing people on holiday, how much nicer they are than when they're doing a job. Or it's like people in the pub, they'd come in, they'd have a few pints and they'd relax and it was like the end of the day but on holiday they're completely relaxed because they're away from everything, and it's like, it's just nice to see people without so much stress. I don't know if I learned anything about them, but I've learned people are a lot less stressed when they're on holiday. I used to love that there. We get the little kids coming up. Excuse me, miss, my mum and dad are lost. Aren't they silly? Are they lost again? Where do they... Come on, we'll go look for them. And they wouldn't panic because at Butlins they knew it was like an enclosed thing. There was security everywhere. The staff... Although we weren't vetted, I'm sure at interviews they figured out what type of people we were. And everybody just loved children there. Otherwise you wouldn't work there. It'd drive you mad. I miss those days. I used to love Butlins. Every funny story we have comes from there. Everything we quote comes from there. It's really, really sad that it's gone in Wales because it was a really cool camp. We went to a Butlins when just as Madam started walking, because she used to do the combat crawl. She never did a proper crawl, and she didn't walk. She didn't want to walk. That's what it is with her. She was like, why do I walk and they'll carry me everywhere? But we decided to go to a Butlins. I can't remember which one it was now. But anyway, we went. They were all as fucking miserable as sin. There wasn't one member of staff that laughed. There was only one bloke, and me and Jed always laugh about it. Because most of them were foreign as well. There wasn't many English people working there. And Jed went up to order drinks. And this bloke, he's like, when coffee? And Jed's like, now. And he's like, no. When coffee, when tea. It's like, yeah, it's funny. And then I went up and I said, can I have tea, coffee, Coke, whatever. And them refillable stupid cups they have. And like, tech help, there wasn't ever a drinks machine that he didn't pass. Can I have a drink? Can I have a drink? He just had a thing about them. So we got him one of these refillable cups because it was cheaper in the end. So I went up with all of them and he was like, you want Pepsi in here? No, that was it. He says, you want tea in here? And I'm like, no, Pepsi in there, tea in a cup. Yeah, they would. It's not the same. I think it was a perfect storm at our Butlins, and everybody was just fun. And I mean, people used to say in the clubs and whatever, oh, are they holiday makers? It's like, no, that's the staff. We were the ones having the most laughs, having the most fun. And there's like groups on Facebook now. Every single one of the people in the groups are like, I'd go back tomorrow. And it was just a magical time. I think that's why, because as well as that, like with Jed asking me to marry me so quick, it wasn't like you were in the real world where you dated somebody and you saw them once a week or once a fortnight or whatever. It was 24/7 we were together. Do you know what I mean? So it was quick, but we knew each other well enough. We knew what we were doing. Well, we must have done. Like I said, it'd be 30 years in June. So that's all the questions. I hope I haven't bored you rigid. And if you want to do one of these again at some point, let me know and I will do that. If you got to the end of me, thank you very much, and I will catch you in the next one.